London is Usama Hasan, head of Islamic studies at the anti-extremism think tank, the Quilliam Foundation. Very good evening to you, Mr. Hasan. Well, what's your view on how well or badly the tech companies are doing with extremist content?
Well, as we just saw from your figures there, they're doing quite a lot, actually. I mean, Twitter, that's 2,000 accounts a day they were taking down over the latter half of last year, and they do work with authorities in that. Of course, they could always do more because, as your other commenter said, terrorists use the internet very cleverly and are sometimes several steps ahead. Now, I think going forward, actually, what we really need is a community of users to do more. Just as in the real world, if you like, the physical world, the fight back against terrorism will be led by communities who open up robust areas for debate and also marginalise extremist views and make it quite clear to people that these are not welcome and actually humiliate them within the communities to say, you know, you can't believe such ridiculous things and carry out such monstrous, murderous acts. Now, similarly, on the online world, it's up to Facebook users, Twitter users, YouTube users to flag, to comment, to challenge extremist, offensive material. A lot of people just shrug their shoulders when they see something terrible and say, oh God, those nutters again, and just move on. What we actually need is engaged users who flag these matters, who comment, etc. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, I reported a YouTube comment because there was a rape threat against a specific person, a really nasty rape threat, and I hope that comment was taken down and perhaps that account blocked. So I think there's a lot more that civic society, ordinary people can do, you know, the millions and billions of people who actually use the internet daily to help with this, because the fight against extremism and terrorism is a duty on all of us. As we've seen from the Manchester attack, it affects everyone in British society.
Don't want to put words in your mouth, Mr. Hasan, but it sounds to me as if you're saying some of the tech company bosses, whipping boys almost, that they've become an easy target for the politicians to criticise.
Well, I do think that some of the politicians are actually rather naive about the nature of technology, and I speak as somebody who worked in technology myself. For example, there was a call by ministers after the Westminster attack for WhatsApp to somehow unencrypt or put a back door into the technology to allow it to be monitored. Well, that's simply unworkable. You ask any technology person and they will tell you that is simply unworkable in terms of the nature of the technology itself. There would be no point whatsoever in creating encrypted messaging systems if you put a back door in there, for example. And also, I think that the more difficult task is the community-led one, to get people to fight this. So, for example, Muslims to fight Islamist extremism, white working class communities and others to fight the increasing far-right terrorism and extremism that is rising across Europe and the West. And sadly, that's a more difficult task to take on. It's a much more difficult challenge. And I do hope politicians and ministers actually have the courage to take on that difficult task. And in a sense, technology companies are soft targets. So just blame everything on the internet. Well, the terrorism is because of the internet. Radicalization happens entirely online. That's just simply not true. It's the networks and cells which exist in the real world, the ideas and the ideologies which are spread, the hate preaching that goes on. Technology is merely a tool which just enables people to spread that. You know, it's like having a paper and pen or a typewriter in the old days. Now, of course, it's more sophisticated. So, of course, we have to keep the pressure on technology companies, on the terrorists, keep taking down these thousands of terrorist accounts every day. But as I said, going forward, I think the paradigm shift we need is for citizens all over the world to realise that we have power as well to report, to comment on, to challenge people, and make it clear to them that this kind of thing is not welcome. A lot of terrorists and extremists have been able to post hate speech online and promote extremist and terrorist ideas without being challenged, and they think it's okay. And they have their own echo chambers where they're laughing because at the naivety of the rest of society who doesn't realise what they're up to. If that can be challenged and they can be put under serious pressure, I think we will eventually win that fight. I think that's the only way forward, really.
Mr. Hasan, thank you very much indeed for your thoughts. Usama Hasan there from the Quilliam Foundation.